All right, let's dive into public leadership. This lesson is designed to break down the core concepts you absolutely need to know for your exam. We're going to cover the key theories and how they actually work in practice. Let's get right to it. Okay, first things first, what exactly is public leadership? Well, at its core, it's about getting people to work toward a common goal. But here's the twist. You're doing it in this super complex environment. You've got conflicting interests, everyone's watching your every move, and there's always political pressure. This is what makes it so different from leading a private company.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the unique challenges of public leadership, then we'll dig into two major theories you'll definitely see on your exam. And we'll wrap up by looking at how leaders manage partners outside their own organization.
First up, the Public Leadership Challenge. And the main idea here is that success in the public sphere isn't just about being fast or cheap. You're being judged on really important values like fairness, equity, and whether or not the public actually trusts you. Now let's look at two really important approaches. First, you've got shared leadership. This is where influence isn't just top-down. Think about a big emergency response. You have experts from different agencies all stepping up to lead their part of the operation. Then you have servant leadership. Here, the leader's main job is to support their team, to clear obstacles and make sure they have what they need to succeed. It's all about service and building trust, not just giving orders. So if there's no single perfect way to lead, how do you figure out what to do? That brings us to a huge theory for your exam, Fiedler's contingency model. And it's all about one thing: matching the leader's style to the right situation. Fiedler's entire theory really starts with this one simple but really profound question. Is there some magic formula, one single leadership style that just works everywhere, every time? And his answer is a clear and simple no. The most important takeaway here is that leadership isn't just about how great the leader is. It's all about the fit. The magic happens when you get the right match between a leader's natural style and the specific situation they're in. So, how do we find that perfect fit? Well, Fiedler gives us three things to look at. First, leader-member relations. Basically, does your team trust and like you? Second, task structure. Is what you're doing super clear and straightforward, or is it vague and confusing? And third, position power. How much actual authority do you have to reward or punish people?
Now, to figure out a leader's style, Fiedler used something called the least preferred coworker scale. A high score means you're relationship-oriented. You care a lot about your team getting along. A low score means you're task-oriented. You're focused on getting the job done. So, for example, in a crisis, a task-oriented leader who gives clear, direct orders is perfect. But for a long-term project that needs buy-in from everyone, a relationship-oriented leader is probably going to do much better. The key is neither style is better. It just depends on the situation.
Okay, so beyond just matching a style to a situation, we also need to think about what the leader is actually trying to achieve. Are they there to keep things running smoothly, or are they there to shake things up? This is the heart of Burns' theory on transactional versus transformational leadership. This is a huge contrast you need to know for the exam. Transactional leaders are all about stability. They focus on exchanges. You do your job, you get a reward. They keep the system consistent. Transformational leaders, on the other hand, are all about change. They inspire people with a big vision and focus on shared values to create something new. And that connects to this idea of charismatic leadership. That's when a leader has this incredible ability to communicate a vision and inspire this intense loyalty, especially when everything feels uncertain. This can be an amazing force for good, but there's a catch in the public sector. You have to be careful that this personal loyalty doesn't start to override public accountability. All right, for our last piece of the puzzle, let's talk about leadership that goes beyond your own organization. Because public leaders are constantly dealing with this whole network of outside partners, contractors, and stakeholders. One of the biggest tools they use is contracting out. That's when the government pays a private company to, say, manage waste collection. But here is the single most important thing to remember for your exam. The government is still 100% accountable to the public. You can delegate a task, but you can never, ever delegate the responsibility. So, for this whole contracting thing to work, public managers have to be rock stars at managing those contracts. That means setting really clear expectations, keeping a close eye on performance, being able to handle disagreements, and always, always being transparent and accountable to the public. To manage these relationships well, you need a mix of two things. You need the formal stuff, the ironclad contracts, the reporting requirements. But that's not enough. You also need the informal stuff, the trust, the good reputation, the feeling that you're all in it together. You absolutely need both. A bigger, more complex version of this is the public-private partnership, or PPP. This is where the public and private sectors team up for huge long-term projects, like building a new bridge or a hospital. And because these can last for decades, they require an incredibly high level of management skill from public leaders.
Whew, we've covered a lot of ground here. To really help you nail these concepts for your exam, you can find a complete summary of everything we talked about, plus a bunch of practice tests over at gradeguru.nl. Okay, let's do a super quick recap of the absolute must-know points. Number 1, public leadership is unique because of those intense accountability demands. 2, Feidler's theory is all about the fit between the leader and the situation. 3, know the difference. Transactional leadership equals stability, transformational leadership equals change. And 4, when you're managing external partners, strong oversight is crucial to protect the public's interest. Got it? Awesome. Good luck with your studies.